What if the same tool Russian intelligence uses to silently rob and spy through mobile devices just became a free download to every single criminal in the US? Well, that just happened this morning. Dark Sword, a zero-click iPhone exploit confirmed by Google, needs no download, no suspicious link. Just visit a certain website and in under 2 minutes, walk away with your employees' passwords, messages, crypto, work email, Wi-Fi credentials, and every single app that's ever been logged in on that phone. And then it disappears. No trace, no alert. You will never even know it happened. Last week, this toolkit was developed by nation states, was really expensive on the dark web. Today, it's free. This morning, it leaked on GitHub. Free, public, ready to copy, ready to deploy, available to anyone with a laptop and a grudge against you. 296 million vulnerable iPhones still unpatched right now. And your employees are using those phones to access your company email, your systems, your client data every single day. So we're going to break down exactly what Dark Sword is, what just changed today, and the one policy every single business owner needs to implement before tomorrow morning. Because as of today, the most dangerous device in your organization is your sales guy's personal iPhone, which he's watching March Madness on in between meetings. This is Cybercrime Junkies. All right, let's get into Dark Sword. What if I told you that a cyber weapon used by Russian intelligence to silently rob iPhones, spy on them, and steal from their owners last week is now a free download on GitHub as of today? Not a rumor, not a theory. It's confirmed today, March 2026. Let's back up 1 week because this story has 2 chapters and they both matter. Chapter 1 started on March 19th when Google's threat intelligence group, a mobile security firm Lookout, and the company iVerify dropped coordinated research on a brand new iPhone iOS exploit kit that they called Dark Sword. This was not some script kiddie project. This was professionally built, fully weaponized attack chain that had already been actively deployed since November 2025. 6 vulnerabilities chained together. 3 of them are 0 days, meaning Apple didn't even know they existed when the attackers were already using them. The research traced it to a suspected Russian espionage group Google tracks and calls UNC 6353, the same group behind a nearly identical exploit called Corona that dropped 2 weeks earlier. The same infrastructure, same targets, the same playbook. Here's the part that should have already had your attention before today's news. This toolkit did not stay in the hands of Russian intelligence. Researchers traced it moving from a commercial spyware vendor to Russian hackers to Chinese cybercriminals to a Turkish surveillance company called Pars Defense that was using it against targets in Turkey and Malaysia. What this means is this is heading right here to the Midwest in the United States, and no one is even aware. It's already on the secondary market, already being licensed and resold, already in the hands of actors with purely financial motives. That was chapter 1. Chapter 2 dropped this morning. That nation state, highly developed, highly sophisticated, and expensive code, that whole kit, well, the entire exploit code just leaked on GitHub today, publicly, for free. Now it's not on a secondary market anymore. Now it's free. available everywhere in the United States for criminals to download and use. Let me walk you through exactly how this attack operates, because this is important for understanding why it's so dangerous and why your standard security awareness training does absolutely nothing to stop it. Dark Sword is what researchers call an exploit chain. It doesn't rely on a single vulnerability. It strings 6 of them together in a sequence to achieve full device takeover. And it does it entirely through the browser. The attack starts in Safari or Google Chrome. A victim visits a compromised website. Could be a news site, could be a government page, could be something that looks completely normal, because in many cases it is a completely normal site that attackers quietly injected malicious code into. The victim doesn't know. There's nothing to recognize. No warnings, no pop-up, no weird behavior. The JavaScript running on that page hits a WebKit vulnerability to achieve a remote code execution inside the browser. Then it escapes Apple's sandbox, pivots to the GPU process, escalates from there into a media playback process, hits a kernel vulnerability, achieves full privilege escalation, and executes its payload. That was a lot of tech talk for saying within 2 minutes, it takes complete command and control over your phone and you don't know it. From start to finish, under 2 minutes on your phone, without you doing a single thing wrong. Then it deploys one of 3 families of malware, depending on what the attacker wants. Ghostblade steals everything: messages, emails, call history, contacts, Wi-Fi passwords, Safari history, location data, photos, health data, notes, calendar, iCloud files, Telegram, WhatsApp history, and every cryptocurrency wallet on the device, including Coinbase, Binance, Ledger, MetaMask, and Exodus. Another one, Ghost Knife, gets into your signed-in accounts. Ghost Saber executes an arbitrary code and keeps the door open, basically builds a back door. But they all clean themselves up immediately, deletes themselves without a trace, and exit. You'll never know it was there. Your security team or your IT guy will have nothing to find. So here's the detail that didn't get enough attention in the mainstream coverage last week, so I want to make sure you heard this clearly. Researchers at Lookout and Cyberscope confirmed that someone used a large language model to customize both Dark Sword and Corona. Think about that. AI was used to build and customize these attack kits, the same technology your marketing team uses to write email campaigns, the same tools available to anyone with an internet connection, being used right now to accelerate, customize, and scale cyber attacks against hundreds of millions of mobile devices. This isn't a warning about what AI might do someday or a theoretical. This is documentation of what AI is doing last week, this week, and today against real devices, against real people. The barrier to building these tools is dropping. The barrier to deploying them dropped further this morning when the code hit GitHub for a free download. The number of actors who now can access, modify, and weaponize this toolkit just went from dozens of highly sophisticated technical people to an unlimited amount of everyone that wants to think with a criminal mind. And last time I checked, there are more criminals than there are people with highly sophisticated technical skills. That is the world we're operating in. Adjust accordingly. Now, let me address the thing I know some of you are thinking. Researchers confirmed attacks in Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Malaysia, China. No confirmed attacks on American targets have been reported. So why should U.S. businesses care? Because No U.S. confirmed attacks yet is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. It means researchers haven't documented it against Americans. It doesn't mean the 296 million vulnerable iPhones here in the US do not include tens of millions of American devices that are infected. It doesn't mean financially motivated criminals who now have free access to this toolkit are going to ignore America. It's the largest concentration of iPhones and corporate data on the planet. The original campaigns were geopolitically targeted. Russian intelligence going after Ukrainians. That made sense as a targeting priority 6 months ago. But the tool has already migrated to Chinese cybercriminals and Turkish surveillance vendors with purely financial motives. And as of this morning, it's free to all people globally who want to target Americans. Financial criminals don't have geopolitical targeting priorities. They go where the money is. And American iPhones connected to American business systems is where the money is. No confirmed US attacks yet. The key word in that phrase is yet. Let's talk about what this means for business owners and leaders listening to this. Most small to mid-sized businesses have a cybersecurity program that covers company-owned devices, laptops with endpoint protection, company phones and mobile device management, servers with monitoring and alerting. That's a reasonable baseline. But here's the gap, and it's a huge gap. Your employees are checking work mail on personal iPhones you don't own, logging into your CRM between meetings from phones you never have touched, approving invoices, accessing client files, connecting to VPNs, and handling sensitive communications on devices with no MDM, no mobile device management, no monitoring, no endpoint protection, and apparently no one checking whether the iOS version is current. Once that phone is compromised, the malware has unfettered access to everything that phone can access, including all of the work systems, your email environment, your client data, your systems credentials, whatever is in their iCloud keychain, all of it. And because DarkSword cleans up after itself, there's not going to be any forensic trail. The breach happened. Nobody knows. That is not a hypothetical. That's exactly how this attack is designed to operate. So here's what to do this week, not next quarter, this week. Send your team this message today. Write it down and send it. Effective immediately, any personal device used to access company systems must be running the latest available iOS or Android update. If your device is not updated by Friday, your access will be suspended until it is. This is not a request. Then back that up with a written BYOD, bring your own device policy that says 5 things. Current OS is required, full stop. iOS 26.31 or iOS 18.76 minimum right now. Any device that can't reach one of those versions gets evaluated for lockdown mode. Security updates must be applied within 24 hours of release, not when they get around to it, 24 hours or access is revoked. Accessing company systems is on a non-compliant device is a policy violation with consequences. Put that in writing. Have people sign it. High-risk roles get additional requirements. Finance, legal, if you have HR, executives, client-facing staff, these people get I-Verify Basic at minimum. It's free until May. It'll run a scan for this kit exactly at no cost until May. Run it today. There's a link below. There's no excuse not to. Lost or compromised devices get reported the same day. Not maybe, not if they feel like it, same day. Credentials get reset, access tokens revoked, period. And if you don't have a written bring your own device policy, a BYOD policy at all, that conversation with your IT provider or MSSP starts this week because the breach doesn't wait for your policy to be ready. Dark Sword started as a Russian intelligence asset. This week, it became free to download. The gap between nation state capability and street level criminal capability collapsed overnight. The fix takes 3 friggin' minutes. Update your phone, update your employees' phones, write the policy, make it mandatory. Because as of today, the most dangerous device in your organization is the one your top salesperson is using to scroll LinkedIn between calls. And the tool to completely own it is free, public, and sitting on GitHub right now. Update your phones. Make the policy. David Dean Morrill, this is Cybercrime Junkies. If this hit different today, share it with every business owner you know. They need to hear this. Links to all sources in the show notes. See you next time.